Right. Trevor wanted me to read this, so here we go. So You Want to Be a Hero is made by and for ostensibly mature adults. As such, be advised that it may contain violence, sexual themes, and strong language such as raspberries or fook.
Fuck. The word's fuck.
Yes, I know what the word is, Tango.
Do you know what ostensibly means?
I know what the word fuck is, Tango. Here, read that.
Full content warning can be found in the episode description.
Look, we'll just get a dictionary or something, figure it out later.
Welcome to So You Want to Be a Hero, a real play Dungeons & Dragons podcast where 5 best friends said fuck it and pressed record. I'm your host, John Garza, and with me always are my 4 best friends, Laus Weindel,
Yo!
Emily Robinson.
You really missed the air horn sound that much?
Yes, I did. Davis McQueen.
Brad, did you notice how quiet, polite we were during his intro?
So polite.
You guys are the fucking worst.
Isn't Brad lost in the woods right now anyways?
That's true.
No, that was before.
Anyway, it's so good to see
I still think
all
John
of you.
did something.
I wanted control. Anyway,
And you got it, buddy. I'm with you. High five.
hey!
I,
Magic
for one,
item
am
for
happy
Laus.
with our new
Yes! Also,
overlords.
free levels, everyone! Free levels!
Hey!
I'm kidding, because I'm capricious and mean. But,
Damn it.
anyway, you know, we're getting close to that favorite time that everyone loves. Can anyone guess what it is?
Dinner.
Bedtime.
Spring.
Spring? Of course not. It's...
Now here comes our favorite part of this bitchin' episode. You know that the show will
Dice Breaker!
It's Dice Breaker. Here we go, it's awful
You have
nice.
to re-edit
It's
and
Dice
say
Breaker.
John's
Rolling numbers
questions
is our
since
vice.
Brad's
It's
gone.
Dice Breaker. Who
That's too
will
much
roll
work.
the lowest now?
That's a lot
It's
of work
Dice
for one
Breaker.
line.
Rolling d20s and then we'll roll a d100 and we will do
Just
the
ADR.
We could just like put it over it so it's like louder than the rest.
Dice Breakers, yes it is Dice Breakers. Hey, did you hear? Now it is time to break some dice. Breakers, yes it's Dice Breakers. And now it's Dice Breakers. So listen.
All right,
Now roll
all
13.
of you heard it. Let's get this going.
14.
Dang it.
Natural 20.
Whoa! 3 episodes in a row you lose, and you're finally back.
I think it's a lot more than 3 in a row, man. I feel like I've lost Dice Breakers every time for a while.
I want to say the past 2 episodes you've won.
Yeah.
I have to admit, it feels like it's been a while. So go ahead and roll me that D100, Davis.
2.
Well.
Boy, man, that was another. We almost had another
Yeah.
really close call. John's like, I don't want to make up another fucking question.
No, I definitely would not be. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would not be making up a question right now. Let's have a look.
Oh no, I
Oh.
enjoyed our nerd argument last time.
This is weird and interesting. All right, this is a question for you as players. If you could change one aspect of the story so far, what would it be? Weird, right? It's a weird question.
That's a deep question.
Yeah,
One aspect of the story?
yeah. One part of the story so far. What would you change? All right, who rolled the lowest? Because I
Me.
like. Our...
Damn.
All right,
Damn.
Laus.
Damn.
What would you change about the story so far?
Change about the story so far. That's fucking. I don't even know how to answer. Okay. God, I hate this. I hate this so much.
Pass.
Yeah, can I pass?
I mean, we could roll again.
Pass to Emily. No, I'm just gonna pass to my. What is that? I defer my answer.
I'm gonna hold my turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold my turn.
Hold my action?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd
okay.
like the help action from Emily, please.
You guys are so true.
I would probably change. I would make the pirates more involved. I love those
Yeah.
pirates.
I like that a lot, actually.
Just like in the very beginning.
We would've
Nothing's,
followed
like too
Rin Bright's
crazy.
Guy.
Bright star.
Bright Star. Damn it.
Star? Sky?
I don't
I thought it was
remember.
Sky.
Davis, it's your villain.
I've met the guy. I've met the guy twice. I've met the guy twice.
And he killed you once.
He fucked him once.
He did steal my friend. Is that kidnapping? Yeah.
Yes, he kidnapped
He
your
kidnapped-
friend.
He
He
kidnapped my
Well,
friend.
I mean, he
You're-
stole an item.
Yeah.
Well, it had a personality. I don't know.
But is that a person? These are the questions we're asking on So You Want to Be a Hero.
It gets deep.
AI, is it a person?
All right, moving on, because I don't want to have to worry about that answer. All right, let's go ahead and hear from Emily.
Okay. So I hope you guys can take this harsh criticism to heart. Really just sit with it. I feel like Milk is too involved in our storylines.
How dare you?
It was an interesting choice from Lost a couple episodes ago. He talked about goat milk way too much with
Well,
his
here's
captors.
the problem. I'm pretty sure Trevor introduced it, but now it's just a recurring character.
Correct. Correct, Abundo. I think you introduced it. Winston also introduced it.
Winston?
That's what it was.
Really
it was
committed.
like episode 1, and I was just like, what do you have to drink? And it was like, here's a glass of milk to help
See,
you go to bed.
I think if you think about it, though, all of our childhoods, every show we watched, milk basically was a main character.
we had the commercials.
Yeah, they got milk
Got
ads,
milk
right?
ads,
Every
and
show.
Milk truly was my favorite drink growing up.
So it's not our fault. We were conditioned.
Oh my gosh, Big Milk got to me.
Big milk got us.
I love how underneath all this is just cinematic atmosphere playing. Right? Like, let's talk about tone here. Like, milk. Big Milk got us. I want you to understand the dystopian world we live in.
Honestly, that is a very
This is your
good,
brain
good
on
change, Emily. Too much milk conversation.
Not enough oatmeal simulator, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Am I right? All
Well,
right.
you kind of stole my answer.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have a lot of editing notes here. Okay.
Sure. Uh-huh.
One, yes, we need more cooking simulator episodes. Okay. 2, Tango's should have ascended to godhood at this point.
Okay.
Um,
and we're done.
3,
Wait.
this is the most important one.
Okay.
If really,
back in.
If I could do anything, Forte would have never gotten his memories back, and we would have been able to reshape him into a more tolerable character. That's my.
Would you like to respond, Laus? I feel like you deserve a rebuttal.
I would not. I will just exit the room, gently weep, and come back.
Listen, these are the studio notes. I need you to listen. Okay.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? I think that it is
You don't have to think. Just play the music.
fine.
Forte here, everybody, with good news. To Be Determined has a new sponsor, Charlie's Kids Casino, where your kids are someone else's problems. All right, so let's recap for you all what happened last time. A lot of scary shit went down. So, to start us off, we had just finished the night of terror, and we had to move with the Villicaporians because they were putting up camp. And we ended back up to the road where we discovered the poor body of Norman. Boo frickin' who. I did not love that guy. Turns out he was not a good uncle. He was, in fact, a bad uncle.
Member of Libra.
Member of Libra. I mean, we don't actually know that he's a member of Libra, but we know he's a member of Libra. Isn't that right, listening audience?
Yeah.
So, we went and discovered that the body of Norman was missing a few things, so we thought to ourselves, clearly Sparrow has to have it, but also, where's Sparrow's body? Means Sparrow's not dead, so that's a good thing. And then, while we were there and Tango and Trevor were dealing with the body of Norman, I discovered that my book had its own body of sorts, where there was a creature at the edge of the forest, and I reached out and she went into my book. Tango also saw this. Tango, like a fool, thinks the book is haunted and will probably do anything he can to destroy it. Like a fool. Anywho, we made it to the camp where the rest of the Rule soldiers were slaughtered, and Tango and myself discovered a bloodied jacket belonging to Sparrow, and we had to jump through hoops to convince Trevor that Sparrow was in fact not dead, but alive. Unbeknownst to us, that was actually a fact. Sparrow is alive. Unfortunately for Sparrow, she is getting tortured by Dr. Theron and these beasts that seem to maybe be part human and part beyond. Ooh, indeed.
Wait, I'm pretty sure we saw an apparition of Sparrow being tortured. Am I wrong about that?
You are wrong.
He's not wrong.
You are correct. Good job. That's twice you paid attention. And twice I clearly have zoned out.
Okay, from the top.
And how dare you? We settled down for the night because nightfall was coming in the land of the dead Rule people. When that happened, we heard a scream coming from outside. The scream of Sparrow. Trevor, as a good friend would, sprinted out after Sparrow to go save her. Tango, shortly behind. Myself, realizing the rule with the house, being like, I shouldn't step out, but also I have to go, kind of left. And our Leomund's tiny hut disappeared, and we fought way too many demons. We did not win that fight, but we did escape with our lives, though it was cutting it close for Tango. If I remember correctly, they almost tripped at one point and was like pretty much one step away from being devoured. But the crazy part about that fight was Elara, the woman whose fiance we murdered, and who very clearly, and has made it super obvious to us that she hates us, saved our lives. Specifically, Trevor's. Turns out she's some sort of shadow magician, and pulled Trevor into the ground in a shadow and all the way back to where they were staying. Now, I don't understand shadow magic. That's not something I'm familiar with. I write music. Beautiful, sweet music. Anyway, Charlie's Kids Casinos, where your kids are someone else's problems.
And with that ringing endorsement for Charlie's Kids Casino.
Sorry, do you have something to say?
Sorry, into the mic. That went so far off the rails.
What? I hit all the beats. Elara hates and saved us. Tango doesn't trust my books.
That was a lot of beats.
Bear
There was too
was
many beats
tortured.
for a recap. There was way too many beats
We
for a
fought back
recap.
creatures.
It's longer than the whole episode.
How dare you? That was at best. I can't read.
Do you want me to tell you actually how long?
Yes.
All right, it was 4 minutes and 7
Shit.
seconds.
Yeah.
Do you want me to re-record it?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I do have a question, not to completely sidetrack us.
God.
Has anyone figured out what the IVIX means?
No.
That was
No.
scratched onto our hut.
Correct. And we assume it's either numbers,
Right.
but the Romans don't exist in this world, so we're not sure Roman numerals exist in this world. Or maybe a name. Or it could be magical markings.
All right.
So no, the answer to your question is no. We have no fucking clue.
I mean, you had weeks to think about it, so I thought maybe someone would crack the code. It wasn't
Do
me,
you
though.
think
It wasn't me, though.
First off, I don't know what you're talking about. Weeks? This happened mere moments ago, Tango. This guy, am I right, Trevor?
You're right, Forte.
All right, John. I think we're ready for you now.
Dropping back into the world, you hear the fire burning low as the dome around you separates the would-be apparitions and creatures. Horror is written on Trevor's face as he stares into the center of this massacred camp at the ethereal image of his best friend being pulled apart by some invisible being. The pain, the anguish, and the terror written in her features. With only silent screams that echo through, just slightly off from the mouth, almost as if they lag behind, coming from the creatures that sit in the forest. Before the very beginnings of the sun begins to rise, and just as quickly as they came, they disappear into the forest, and the face contorts into a twisted smile before and it disappears into nothingness, leaving the second day in a row that you have gone without sleep. I need constitution saves from everyone, please.
Son of a bitch.
You guys get +3.
Oh, thank God.
Nat 20. Adrenaline.
Hell of a drug.
15?
Good enough.
12?
Also good enough.
Oh, thank
You're kidding.
Oh boy, I rolled a 9. If it wasn't for your +3, I was fucked.
Okay, do we have a second level of exhaustion, though?
No, you passed.
Oh,
If
oh.
you fail,
Okay.
it would have been a second level.
I will say, it's, I don't think I actually took damage in that last battle because I just stayed back.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
hit in
nearly
the
as hurt
dome.
as I thought I was.
Okay, I use the rest of my hit die and I heal
Wait.
for 19.
Okay, got it.
Am I still poisoned?
Oh no, this was a temporary effect.
Okay.
It will work its way through your body in the next hour. So as you all collapse, sitting down next to the fire of Elara and Seren's protective dome, you can kind of catch the annoyed look on Alira's face as she moves to her bedding and begins to roll it up. Bags forming under her eyes as she also failed to sleep. You can see Siren looks quite well rested as she sort of hops up and goes, "Well, that was enlightening. I see you guys met the creatures.
They're torturing Sparrow.
Is that who that was? Oh my god, is that your friend?
Yes.
I'm
We-
so sorry.
I'm so sorry. We have to go save her.
Yeah, but where is she?
Great question.
So, yeah, we can help. We can help find her, but I think first we need to get out of these woods. Because if you just go off on your own and you look kind of not well rested, there's a good chance you just die. So maybe we focus first on getting us to safety, and then we find your friend. That's wise counsel. You should listen to Saren.
Okay.
If she's not already dead.
All of that said, if we have to deal with that army of regenerating monsters, there's a good chance we're all dead. So, is there a way for you to call in the cavalry, so to speak? Reinforcements? This seems like an existential threat to the entire forest. That's all I'm saying.
The cavalry. Elara, you see a half-cocked smile at you as Saren goes, "Oh, we're kind of a small group that Ulfr put together to try to handle this situation before it gets out of hand. I know it doesn't look like it's fully under control right now, but I promise you it will get worse if we don't handle the ritual that we think is happening in Arminsguar. So, do you guys remember I told you where these creatures came from?
Arminsguar. The Beyond.
The 3 days of night that
Yes.
ripped open. We think they're trying to do it again, and so these things are appearing in larger numbers. But we can't just openly go to war with the kingdom and bring an army into their lands. So we're kind of on our own.
It's really a shame. If we had a cleric, we would be crazy enough just fine. It's ironic, I know, because, Norman's dead. And he's apparently a cleric.
I'm sorry, who's Norman?
Oh, the other dead body back at the road that...
Oh, the one who kept his teeth? And you see like a small little like pouch with little teeth.
Why?
Oh,
Ooh, never ask.
When?
well, in order of question, why? They're really good for certain rituals and certain balms and potions, and they're really good for thickening a stew.
You're right. Never ask.
Um,
That's on me.
Secondly, when? It didn't take very long. I just, when we were burying him, took a little club, and it was pretty fast.
I feel like I should have noticed that when I was performing the funeral rites.
Well, I mean, you didn't really open his mouth and look. I did heal him afterwards, so he looks the same.
So you smashed his face in, and then you did cosmetic surgery with magic.
That's what it sounds like, Tango.
I do it all the time. I'm the one
What?
who dresses our dead.
Oh, you're the mortician of the group.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of what we do as speakers. We send them to the great beyond, and we want to make sure that, well,
Wait, you're a speaker?
yeah.
Didn't you also say Tango was a speaker?
Wait, you're the speaker for Igneous?
No.
I could have sworn you said that.
No, I speak to Ignar. But, I guess it's more like I listen.
Oh, so he speaks to you.
Well,
Or she.
She,
She,
speaks
sorry.
to me. It's okay. I
I actually probably more
I don't know
accurately
your
they.
god's sex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they have? Whoa.
Probably a they.
Okay.
They tend to be in the form that most pleases you when they speak to you, so your brain doesn't melt.
Oh. That actually makes a lot of sense. I think we're getting distracted.
You are
though.
just blowing Tango's mind right now.
We need to get to the fort before the next nightfall. Right?
Oh, absolutely, but we're at least 3 days out.
What?
Oh yeah, we're going through heavy forest now that hasn't been shredded. We can't get on the road anymore, or the Rulians will see us.
My God.
Unless you guys have a better way of traveling.
The rock?
I mean, yes, but then they'll see us coming.
Oh, right. That whole thing.
Yeah, we're kind of enemies of the state.
Right. That's a bad thing to be.
Yeah, that's a very light way of putting it. Elara sort of finishes packing, and then you watch the dome come down.
Well, maybe we could go on ahead while y'all come in the sneaky way.
You're going to go on ahead by yourselves through the woods, so 3 days travel.
No, that's a bad idea. We don't have a tiny magical hut to protect us at night. We will die.
Can we borrow a tiny magical hut?
So in order to borrow a tiny magical hut, you'd have to borrow a tiny magical Seren. Does that seem possible?
I mean, I could make Saren tiny.
No, that's not the part that's
That
the
was
difficult part, Tango.
That was fucking rhetorical.
There's a lot of inflections going on over here. Yes, we cannot bring Siren with us because
then we won't have huts.
That's what I was going to say. Also, thank you.
You're welcome. Look,
Saren, surely you know. I don't know. I've known plenty of druids who can move through the trees.
I could, right? But that type of movement is a little beyond the magic that I have access to. While I'm a druid, I've practiced different arts that didn't really focus on that style of magic. I did a lot more of decay and mushrooms and things like that. Returning stuff to the earth.
I imagine you have done a lot of mushrooms.
To the other side of the circle when I hear that.
Next to Elara. Mm-hmm. Elara kind of like eyes you and kind of like, I get it.
So Trevor's eyes kind of glaze over as he's thinking really deeply and reaching back to his weirdly good education.
All right, so what role am I about to
and
have
he murmurs
you do?
to himself, miles and miles of mycelia. You do fungus.
You wanna treat right through the fungus. I love it.
I mean, yes,
Actually-
I do fungus. Why?
So, you know how fungus, they're made of mycelia, and those just like, they're everywhere.
Mycelia.
Can you reach through the mycelia to find Sparrow?
Within a certain distance, I could, but she'd have to be within 1,000 feet
Could you check?
In 1,000 feet?
Yeah.
Sure. And you see Elara put a hand. I'm gonna stop you right there. We don't need to waste magic. 1,000 feet is still inside these woods, which she would have been in at night, alone.
Well, not alone. Someone's torturing her. I don't know. Did you miss that part?
Didn't miss it, just didn't care. Look, if she's in the woods at night, she's dead. And those things are hunters. They're trying to get you to go chase it so you'll die. Are you all there?
Okay,
Well,
look,
to be
I get it.
fair, we're in the woods at night and we've survived.
No,
Because
guys,
you have us.
May I?
These are my friends, and you hate us. So, I've got this one.
Fine. And she takes Saren and walks off.
And then it just disappears around. I was like, okay. The problem we're running into is that these creatures hunt at night, and there is no way for us to currently hide from these creatures at night without this protective magic shell. So we may want to go on ahead, but we're going to have to practice patience on this one, unfortunately.
Or we could just take the rock.
It does like us.
Yes, we could. Or
I love you, Brad.
we... Hold on,
Is
wait.
this Forte speaking or Brad's
We-
best friend?
Hey, fuck you. We just gotta be smart about this. That's all I'm saying. We talk to Elidor.
Elidor is breaking down his camp,
Do you
not
think
too far.
he wouldn't give us the opportunity
To what?
to take the rock? Look, like you said, we are not Villicaporians. We are to be determined. I am Forte Black. We use that to our advantage. So, yeah, if we take
Right.
the rock and go on ahead,
Right.
but we do need to be level-headed about this and a bit smart in the sense of we can't just barge in like when you heard Sparrow scream and barged out. I did make the exact same call, but then we now know that that is a trap. So the next time we hear that, we can't just rush out because then there's like 35 evil creatures of death that's going to gnaw us and tear us apart, and we don't have any way to get out of that.
But what
Or
if it actually
kill
is
them.
Sparrow? Next time.
Well, then, if that's Sparrow next time, she won't be outside because she's getting tortured. So we know she's in a room somewhere.
But she's getting tortured, and we're being shown that she's being tortured to torture us. So they might take her outside
Right,
to
and-
torture us.
And so we can't give them what they want.
Or we give them exactly what they want, and then some.
But then we'll die. 'Cause
No, that's the and then some.
us dying?
No. We give them what they want, but then we do it better than they thought we would. So they die.
We turned their trap into our trap.
Does anyone know a daylight spell?
No.
Well, that would be what we need to defeat these creatures. Because they are creatures of the night from the 3 days of darkness. So we would need some sort of spell to mimic the sun because they don't come out during the day, so we can't fight them during the day, unfortunately.
Right, but we're going to borrow the rock, so we don't need to worry about them.
Are they
We
just
don't know if
listening
they
to
fly or
this?
not.
Oh,
Like,
no, they walked away.
they're
the
gone.
three of you guys
Okay,
are there
okay,
alone.
we're having private.
And the rock's going to be a lot faster than traveling with this whole caravan, so we can probably make it there.
Yeah, I'm not
In a
I'm
day.
not arguing that part.
Forte,
Okay.
roll me wisdom real fast. It's a
doesn't
low.
count.
It's a low check.
Where's my papers?
Farther to your right.
Shit! 7!
It was a low check. Something about stealing the rock.
Who said stealing?
Well, something about borrowing the rock pings in your mind. You're like, whose rock was it?
Okay, so minor little problem with borrowing the rock. It does, in fact, not belong to Elador, but technically now it belongs...
that guy Rock is its owner, which
means Elira's its owner, who already hates us and wants to kill us. So we would have to ask her nicely.
I'm gonna leave that to you because she makes me feel very angry.
I will go talk to Elira.
Here's the pitch.
Okay, listening.
We borrow the rock to go to Arminsguar.
Yes.
Ermagerd.
And then we create a way for them to sneak into the city without being seen.
That's actually a very good pitch.
See? I saw you smirking at me like I was about to say something stupid, and I didn't appreciate it because
Well,
I actually had a pretty good idea.
yep. You did. I'm going to go talk to Elador.
Okay. So Elador is over there with Ulfr. And they're breaking down their camp. And as you come up, you see him turn to you.
Elador, Ulfr. Hello.
Why, good morning, my good man.
That's one way of putting it.
Well, we survived the night. Always a victory when you live.
That is very true, though. I am just exhausted.
I imagine so. I slept like a baby, though.
Good days.
Good days. Well, what could we... And then you see Elador puts a hand on Ulfr. What can we do for you?
So, I want to pitch something to you that I'm going to need your assistance with when talking to Elara.
You need something from Elara.
Well, yes. But hold on, wait, let me pitch it to you first.
I'm listening.
We are Rulians, and if we get caught ahead of you guys, nothing's really terrible is going to happen to us, because we are not Vilcaporians. We are not against the king and the military, as far as they are aware. However, we would be on a giant rock to get to Arminsguar sooner rather than later to make it essentially clear the way for you to get in unseen.
And how would you clear the way? They would see you coming and likely detain you for questioning at minimum.
Yes, but that's where Trevor comes in. They're a teddy bear. Look at them.
He looks over at Trevor.
Trevor has gotten out an old toothbrush that he no longer uses and is polishing Gloria's horn. And she looks irritated.
See? Look at that. Teddy bear. The point being, we are to be determined. We do have a little bit of... I don't know how much of the story from Taran has gone out into the land, but I do know we have some story behind us, and we do have the leaders of Taran behind us.
Roll persuasion before you continue.
17!
Hell yeah.
I have heard some story of a band of heroes that attempted to save a city.
But didn't fail.
Did not fail. It would be a very difficult sell to Elara. Now, hold on, let's not be hasty. I'd like the cut of this one's jib. I think if they can come up with a sound plan to sneak us in, it's worth the risk.
So at this point, I have walked over to this conversation.
Okay. And things got better or worse?
So how's it going? We're gonna get at it?
We're making progress.
Sneaking you in. I actually have an idea.
Ooh, I'm intrigued.
But I would need the rock for sure.
Are you going to make them all tiny?
I can't do that many at once. I can make one tiny. this is kind of an old trick. I can write messages in the sky. And I thought, what if maybe we could write a message that might coax the Rulian troops in the area to start clearing out the fort themselves for us?
And what message would that be?
Yes, what message would elicit such a response? You must have something brilliant planned.
Well, I think something...
Free beer.
I think something...
that'd work on me.
Well, that's why I needed to talk to you. I think if we can give some sort of indication that spies are meeting there or someone is rendezvousing there, it may elicit an investigation at least, and then if they start coming, they can at least, start... they're going to be forced to fight, right?
So, a message that appears to be an invasion?
Well, that does sound problematic. I don't know. I've used this trick before, but I haven't...
And it's worked?
It has.
All right, roll me persuasion, and I'm going to give it to you flat.
That is a 6.
Oh.
Total?
A lot of 6s.
Total?
Yeah, 2 plus... I'm sorry, it's an 8. 2 plus 6.
Now, I can't help but think that this plan feels a little underbaked.
A little lacking, yes. No, I agree with that. But there is definitely some needing to be involved.
Look, without a true plan to get us in, I do not feel comfortable convincing Elara to give up her husband's, linked animal. I believe if you wish to get it, you will have to speak to her.
Shit. Hey, how long does your shrinking people spell last? You're the one with it. Don't make faces at me.
Gonna make me look it up.
Yes, if you were planning this, there's information I need. This guy, am I right?
I mean, we definitely didn't help your case.
Can I be honest with you? I have forgotten how to do this spell. I thought I had reduce and large. I don't.
I thought you were turning people into mice.
I can do that.
How long?
Oh no, I have also forgotten how to do that spell.
Oh my god, you've
I'm not a
made
high
this
enough
so
level
difficult.
for polymorph yet.
Really?
I mean,
All right.
I'm level 6, but I'm split druid and sorcerer. Right.
Okay, so we have 3 days to get to Arminsguar. What is
Indeed.
What is the journey looking like?
I'm useless.
It will be continued straight through the forest. We have some hidden paths. And we will bed down every night before nightfall and put up the domes. But if you are serious about going on ahead, we will not stop you. But I do not believe you will survive.
No, I agree with you. I also don't believe we'd survive.
And know that if you do go a more unconventional route of procuring transportation, I will not defend you from the rest of my kin.
Well, that's fair. Honestly, that's why I came to you first and didn't just go straight to her. 'Cause, she hates us.
She is hurt and angry. Not too far from your friend there, as he nods to Trevor.
True.
Maybe there's more common ground than you imagine.
Oh.
But this door is closed. And he turns to finish packing. And Ulfur kind of shrugs a little. Sorry, boyo. Without a better plan, I'm out too.
Yeah, that's fair. Tango.
What? I did my best. I'm not a freaking miracle worker.
The two of you walk over to Trevor as you talk.
Trevor!
Is it settled?
Nope! You gotta talk to Elara! Okay, look, here's the deal. You really care about Sparrow. I mean, we do too, but you care about Sparrow 1,000 times more than both Tango and myself combined. You've been with them since the beginning, as far as I know. Elara just lost the love of her life. Albeit to Sparrow. But you are both losing someone you care 1,000 times more than any of us. And when I say that, I also mean you probably care more about Sparrow than you do about me and Tango combined. Which is fine, I understand that. That's not a naysaying thing. You're a human. You're allowed to have these feelings. It's okay. But I'm not talking to her. She hates me, and I feel like you two have way more common ground.
I thought you agreed to talk to her because she makes me angry.
I did, and then I talked to Elidor, and I'm going off of his suggestion, which is that you actually talk to her, because even though she makes you angry, you are both angry, and you both are hurting, and maybe double hurt makes hell heal.
Everyone roll wisdom right now to sort of, or insight, up to you, to sort of determine what you guys think the best course action is. 5.
12.
12.
It's flat check.
Yeah, flat.
7.
Look, my best course of action is staying with the group here for the next 3 days.
So as you sort of sit here deciding who you think should speak to Elara, you don't think there's a right answer. You think, for better or worse, all of you could find common ground if you looked hard enough. But at the end of the day, if you want that rock, you gotta speak to her or you gotta steal it.
Okay, I'm gonna say this very, very quietly, so only we can hear it.
Understood, I'm not gonna fuck you. Continue.
Great. I think we all know what the smart thing is, and that's staying with the group here. I think we also know what the right thing to do is, and that's to get to the fort as quick as possible. Trevor, I'm going to defer to you, but if you want my opinion, it's always better to ask forgiveness than permission. We need to steal the rock, and we need to get to the fort, because that's our best lead on where Sparrow might be, and she could, unfortunately, already be dead, but the longer we wait, the worse our odds are.
Sparrow is not dead.
I believe
First of
that.
all.
I believe that too.
And I'm not stealing the rock. I can talk to her.
I give Forte a look.
I believe in you, Trevor. I truly do.
Thank you.
In your head, Forte. Maybe you can cast friends or something.
No, that's actually completely the worst spell to possibly do, because then she knows Cast Friends was cast. No.
Okay, are you gonna go talk to Elara? She is actually out at the pins feeding the rock right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to her.
Does she have Pitor in her hands?
Yeah, bits of Pitor. No, Pitor and Mary are not there. All right, you begin to make your way up towards the pins, and you see the giant bird preening and taking very careful bites of this large sort of what looks like hunk of meat out of her hand as she softly sort of pets it and whispers to it. You can see every once in a while she'll take a deep breath, close her eyes, and just cradle the head of the bird.
Trevor walks close, but not all the way up to her, and doesn't try to sneak because he doesn't want to startle her.
Sure.
Then just waits for her to acknowledge him.
A long couple of minutes pass before she finishes feeding the rock and spins around to look at you, her eyes puffy and red.
I hand her a handkerchief, or I hold out a handkerchief.
She doesn't take it.
Okay.
What do you want?
Well, I understand why you hate us, obviously, and it's completely your right, and I don't want to apologize as if that could possibly make things better, because I know it can't. Sparrow she's real important to me. When I left the monastery, I was on my own for a long time. And I just wasn't getting a lot of enthusiasm for my recruiting pitch for joining my merry band of heroes. And then I came across Sparrow, and she was traveling on her own, and there were different kinds of demons in those particular woods, and her wagon wheel broke. So I was just trying to help her with that, and then this demon, it looked like a bat thing. It just flew out of the forest, and Sparrow just like that just took it out. And so I gave her the pitch, and she didn't even question it. She just nodded and smiled, and we've been together ever since. And since then, I've talked to her about it, and she said that her gun going off was so loud she couldn't tell what I was saying, so it was just like an appeasing sort of nod. But I think she just doesn't like to admit that she feels feelings, and that's okay.
Roll me persuasion at this juncture.
I thought the plot twist was Sparrow believes in our mission more than anybody. But no.
She was just literally death. Yeah.
Do I have advantage? Probably not, no.
Let me think. I'll give you 50-50 odds on advantage.
I cast advantage.
Are you doing something to help? That's the help action?
No, that's the spell.
Can I transfer my luck?
You know what,
Since I
Tango?
never use it.
I will let you give your luck to Trevor, and
So
you may
I never
re-roll
use
it just this once.
Okay.
Benevolent.
Sparkly pink dice give me
Sometimes.
strength. It's a 17.
You see her lip begin to curl in a bit of a snarl before there's a twitch in the eye. And you can see a strong, well-composed person holding together feelings that are just too large. You can feel that weight. What makes her life worth more than his? She killed him.
Nothing.
Then why?
No life is worth more than another.
Then why should she get to live? Why should I help you? Help her to live when she took my person, my everything. Why would I help you save her?
It's entirely your choice, but if someone could have been there to make that decision and help your husband, wouldn't you have wanted them to?
Are you saying she didn't have a choice? You
No.
didn't have a choice.
That's not what I'm saying
When he
at all.
fell from that rock, you couldn't have healed him? You, paladin of Esnius? You disgust me. And she turns and walks away.
I think it went well.
Yeah.
There was no screaming.
You have about 3 seconds before she's out of earshot. Anything?
I'm sorry.
All right, roll persuasion at disadvantage.
Yeah. 11.
11. All right. I will at least give you a roll against.
Roll anger for me.
Roll anger?
Yeah, this is an anger roll.
Oh, this is 100% an anger roll. All right. I'm going to say that she has a mod of +3 to anger right now. So
Yeah.
on an 8
Okay.
or higher, she will ignore you. And there is no further dialogue.
Yeah.
That is a 19.
Yep.
Oh, is she real mad?
Oh, that's a 13. I lied. Sorry.
Not as mad, but still pretty mad.
Still
Pretty
pretty,
mad.
mad.
Like over 75%
She,
mad.
so you say, I'm sorry. You will be. And she walks away. And she crests the hill and disappears, leaving you alone with the rock, who, sensing your sadness, sort of nuzzles over to you.
Trevor shapes his hand into a beak and just starts preening the rock sadly.
The two of you see her stomping back into the camp.
Tango has pulled out some large patches of leather and is currently sewing together special jackets for all of us.
Cool.
Making squirrel suits, baby.
Squirrel suit. I love it.
Yeah, we're going paratrooper on this fort.
I love this idea. All right. What would Trevor or Forte like to do?
Are you okay?
I don't know how to get to her. She needs me, and I don't know how to get to her.
Sparrow or Ilaria?
Of course, Sparrow. Ilaria does not need me. Ilaria does not want me.
Well, want and need are two different things, but there's only one thing left, Trevor, and I don't know if it makes you break an oath or not.
Let me review my oaths.
Yeah, you should look at those really quick.
Wow.
Okay, y'all. Look.
2 episodes in, I got people questioning oaths.
I put on my little jacket and flip it out, and now I've got like flying squirrel flaps between my legs and arms.
Roll me crafting.
Yeah. Okay. What do I roll for that?
Do you have any like tools that you're proficient in?
I'm a proficient leather worker.
Okay,
It's
we'll
like
give you
my
a
max
plus 5.
Okay.
Sorry.
10.
you pop out your squirrel, and immediately one of the little flaps comes off the side.
Okay. So that was an incredibly quick patch job, but you get the idea, right? We don't even need to really steal the rock. We could just borrow it, and then we fly in.
That was the original plan. We weren't going to keep... Where would we keep the rock?
Well, that's what I'm saying is we can take it and borrow it without permission, Trevor.
All right.
But it's not stealing if we send it home.
So while these guys are talking and Tango's showing off his leather jackets, I pull out my violin
Okay.
and I pull out my fancy new bow. While you guys are still talking, you're not even like you're paying attention to me at this juncture. And I just sit down on a stump, let's say, and I cast Intimate Performance.
Okay.
And I play my wife's song.
Okay. Describe what this looks like magically.
So magically what this looks like is singing without singing and playing without playing.
Great.
Hold on, let me finish. I am playing the bow and no one can hear anything. I am singing, but nobody can see anything. Because I'm actually casting the spell. So, like, it's just... Essentially, it opens with... The girl who went away. The girl in my eyes. The stars in the sky who I always chase after. And that my voice fades out and it just becomes the music.
Okay.
And it is specifically meant for Elara's ears. She's the only one
That hears this.
who can hear this. And I'm playing it not looking at her, not concentrating on her with visual and physical cues. But I want her to be the only one that can
hear it.
You watch her take a step. She freezes in place, her back to you. And she sort of spins, not fully facing you, but out of the side of the eye, regarding you.
And there is the way the spell works is I convey a single sentence or thought or feeling. And as they listen to my music, and they define their meaning from that. And the song is, within sadness, there is hope. Within hope, there is forgiveness. Within forgiveness, there is light. That is the thought process. There is comfort within forgiveness.
As you send this thought, is there any image attached to it? You feel like this might hit home a little harder if there is.
It's me dancing with my wife.
You may roll with advantage, good sir.
Natural 1!
Oh, fuck me.
Oh, come on.
17 plus 11.
Is that 28?
Yes.
And everyone out there said bards are useless.
No one said that.
You said that. No.
You said that, Davis.
Our bard.
So as you send this beautiful image of you and Julia dancing, spinning around, you watch as her head turns, and for a moment, the two of your emotions match. There is anger, there is sadness, there is regret and loss, but most of all, there is longing. And as she looks upon you, a kindred spirit, a silent plea that though you both have lost, that there is still something, someone that meant something very similar that could be saved. And she's not a cold woman. You can feel that in this moment. And though anger clouds her mind, she knows that taking another person's eye after you have lost yours does not return it. And you see her turn to you, and without a single word, just throw a hand out to the side, waving for you to go, to just go. And you believe you understand what this means.
My friends, pack up your things. We are taking the rock to Arminsguar.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Should I keep making these flying squirrel suits, or?
We're going now. So yes, you can make it on the rock.
Okay.
Trevor,
What?
we're gonna go save Sparrow. But we need to leave now.
Okay.
You just watch me walk towards the rock, and I go, it's okay.
Okay. Let me go put Gloria in her Pokeball.
Choose a different word, Nintendo, baby.
Pokeball?
Put her in a Pokeball.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, you put her in a
Pokeball.
Pokeball.
The implications of that are.
No.
Raw Rido.
All right.
Fatty is good tuna.
What? You say fatty is good tuna?
It's as fatty as good tuna.
Oh, I just heard you go fatty is good tuna. I'm like, why'd you name your tuna fatty?
In that moment, as you make your way towards the rock, you are playing your violin, and as you go to put it back in your case, you feel a soft, warm touch to the top of your hand, and you see just a little bit of starlight in the form of a hand touch yours.
I'll just close my eyes and tilt my head down.
little tears dropping down Forte's face.
You feel a soft pressure on your forehead. All right. And with that, you make your way to the rock.
Okay, so two things. First off, bravo. Secondly, fuck you, Brad. We've got the rock forever now.
There it is. There it is.
I knew there had to be more.
Yeah,
than
there
that,
was
right?
more
Like,
than that for sure.
There was no way Davis wasn't gonna turn this into a.
I am the tamer of birds.
All right, everyone. It's time to get on the rock.
I didn't expect you to immediately go to that.
And we're walking towards the rock in slow motion,
That's right.
whipping our hair.
Sunglasses out of nowhere on our faces.
Yeah.
You make your way to the rock, and almost as if it's expecting you, it lowers a wing so that you may climb and mount it. Hopping on the top of it, it sort of preens and shakes its feathers. And you see Elara make her way to the stable and sort of cross her arms as she watches the group of you as the rock sort of turns to regard her.
Got really windy out. Trevor looks beautiful.
The rock lowers its head to her, and she says loud enough for you to hear, "Take care of them, Zephyr. May you fly true." And with a flap of the wings, heads up into the sky. Yeah! The wind whoosh, whipping through your hair.
Trevor leans down, gripping the feathers up by the shoulders of the rock and whispers, "I'm coming for you, Sparrow."
And that's all we have for today, folks. Thanks so much for listening. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms like Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. Join our Discord server. And it's a lot of Brad talking, but you know, it is what it is. We're four best friends that said fuck it and pressed record.
Fuck it!
With you always, John Garza, Laus, Weindel.
We got a rock!
I hate all of you. Emily Robinson.
You're welcome, Brad. We miss you. Wherever you are.
Davis McQueen.
Peace, y'all.
And a heartfelt love towards Brad Silman.
Yo! I had to get it in there.
Yeah, we stole his rock. Well, with that being said, I guess there's nothing left for us to do but to have the Bard Queen play us off. I would like to give a special thanks to her for allowing us to use her song At Our Door. You can check her out on Spotify and wherever all songs, well, live.
Apple Music?
Apple Music! There it is. And Pandora, maybe?
I ran out of...
YouTube?
Napster's not around anymore.
And YouTube. But anyway, once again, thank you, Bard Queen.
Kazaa?
You're so old.
LimeWire?
We're good at scripts.
The radio!
Anyway, stay heroic out there.
AM
guys.
1690.
So excited. Tango's time to shine finally. 21 episodes with leather skills. Never used them.